Welcome to Sports Bios, where we delve into the fascinating lives of athletic icons. And I'm your host, Howard Closewell. Today, we're going to explore the remarkable journey of Bob Beamon, a man whose name is synonymous with greatness in the world of track and field. The 1940s and 1950s were a time of great change in America, with the civil rights movement gaining momentum and the country struggling to come to terms with its own identity. In this context, Beamon's childhood was marked by the harsh realities of poverty and racism. His mother, Naomi, a single parent, worked tirelessly to provide for her family, often relying on public assistance to make ends meet. The Queensbridge housing projects, where Beamon grew up, were a labyrinthine maze of concrete and steel, a breeding ground for crime and violence. Yet, amidst this unforgiving environment, Beamon's mother instilled in him a strong sense of self-worth and a determination to succeed. As I reflect on my own conversations with Beamon, I recall his vivid descriptions of life in the projects. He spoke of the sounds of sirens piercing the night air, the smell of smoke wafting from trash-filled alleys, and the feeling of being trapped in a world that seemed determined to hold him back. And yet, despite these challenges, Beamon's mother encouraged his athletic pursuits, recognizing early on that sports could be a ticket out of the projects. She saw in her son a spark of potential, a flame that burned bright with every jump, every sprint, and every throw. Beamon's introduction to athletics came through his participation in the local Police Athletic League PAL program, where he was coached by the legendary Larry Ellis. It was under Ellis's guidance that Beamon began to develop his skills as a jumper, quickly demonstrating a natural aptitude for the sport. The PAL program provided a safe haven for Beamon and other young athletes, offering them a chance to escape the harsh realities of their environment and focus on their athletic development. I've often wondered what might have become of Beamon had he not found his way into the PAL program. Would he have succumbed to the temptations of the streets, or would he have found another path to success? The answer, much like Beamon's own life, remains a complex and multifaceted one. As Beamon entered his teenage years, he began to face new challenges. His family's financial struggles continued, and he was often forced to balance his athletic pursuits with part-time jobs to support his mother. He worked as a stock boy at a local grocery store, earning minimum wage and struggling to make ends meet. Despite these obstacles, Beamon's talent and dedication earned him a spot at Jamaica High School, where he would go on to become one of the top track and field athletes in the city. Under the guidance of Coach Ellis, Beamon's athletic career began to take shape. He started competing in local and regional events, quickly making a name for himself as a rising star in the world of track and field. His early successes were not limited to his athletic achievements. Beamon also excelled academically, earning good grades and demonstrating a keen interest in the arts. He was a voracious reader, devouring books on history, science, and literature. He found solace in the words of Langston Hughes and the rhythms of jazz music. In many ways, Beamon's athletic prowess was matched only by his intellectual curiosity. The challenges he faced, from poverty and racism to personal struggles and self-doubt, would ultimately serve as a catalyst for his success. It is a reminder that our lives are shaped by the choices we make, the opportunities we seize, and the support we receive from those around us. In the sweltering summer of 1964, Beamon's life was about to take a dramatic turn. He had just graduated from high school and was preparing to embark on the next stage of his athletic journey. The world of track and field was on the cusp of a revolution, with athletes like Jesse Owens and Ralph Boston pushing the boundaries of human performance. Beamon, with his raw talent and unbridled ambition, was poised to join their ranks, ready to take the sport by storm and leave an indelible mark on the world of athletics. As I look back on Beamon's remarkable journey, I am reminded of the power of sports to transform lives and transcend boundaries. Beamon's story is one that transcends the realm of athletics, speaking to fundamental questions about human potential, perseverance, and the pursuit of excellence. As the summer of 1964 drew to a close, Bob Beamon's athletic career stood at the threshold of a revolution, poised to shatter the constraints of conventional expectation and forge a new paradigm of excellence. The University of Texas at El Paso, UTEP, with its storied tradition of track and field supremacy, beckoned as the ideal crucible for Beamon's burgeoning talent. Under the discerning guidance of coach Wayne Vandenberg, a sage and seasoned mentor who had nurtured numerous athletic prodigies, Beamon embarked on an odyssey of self-discovery and rigorous training, honing his skills as a long jumper with an unyielding passion that bordered on obsession. As the months unfolded, Beamon's dedication began to yield tangible dividends. His technique, once raw and unrefined, gradually evolved into a symphony of fluid motion, a seamless fusion of power and finesse that belied his youth and inexperience. The weight room, once a daunting and unfamiliar terrain, became his sanctuary, a place where he could channel his energy and test the limits of his physical endurance. And it was during this period of intense preparation that Beamon began to grasp the nuances of mental toughness, learning to harness his focus and quiet his mind in the face of adversity, a skill that would serve him well in the crucible of competition. One of the most pivotal events in Beamon's early career took place on May 25, 1965, when he competed in the NCAA Championships at Berkeley, California. As Beamon stepped onto the runway, the air thick with anticipation, he felt an unfamiliar sense of calmness wash over him, a feeling that would become a hallmark of his competitive psyche. The result was nothing short of spectacular. Beamon leapt an impressive 26 feet 2.75 inches, taking second place behind Boston and announcing his arrival as a force to be reckoned with in the world of track and field. This breakthrough performance marked a watershed moment in Beamon's career, earning him national recognition and solidifying his position as one of the top young long jumpers in the country. The accolades and attention that followed were both exhilarating and intimidating, threatening to undermine the fragile balance between confidence and complacency that Beamon had so carefully cultivated. Yet, with Vandenberg's guidance, he navigated this treacherous landscape with aplomb, using the validation as fuel for his training while maintaining a keen sense of perspective and humility. Over the next several years, Beamon continued to dominate the sport, setting multiple records and winning numerous championships with a frequency that bordered on the mundane. On June 18, 1967, he competed in the AAU Championships at Los Angeles, where he jumped an astonishing 27 feet 4.75 inches to break Ralph Boston's world record, a feat that sent shockwaves through the athletic community and cemented Beamon's status as the premier long jumper of his generation. Beamon's success was not limited to his individual achievements. He also played a key role in UTEP's dominance of collegiate track and field during this period. The Miners, with Beamon as their standard-bearer, won 3 consecutive NCAA championships from 1966 to 1968, a streak that showcased the team's depth, talent, and unwavering commitment to excellence. One of the most enduring moments of Beamon's career took place on October 18, 1968, when he competed in the Mexico City Olympics. As Beamon later recalled, "I remember feeling a sense of calmness, like I was in a zone when I stepped onto the runway." With the eyes of the world upon him, Beamon launched himself down the track, his body unfolding like a coiled spring as he soared through the air. The result was nothing short of breathtaking. Beamon landed at an astonishing 29 feet 2.5 inches, shattering the existing world record by an incredible 21.75 inches and redefining the boundaries of human potential. As Bob Beamon's athletic career began its inexorable decline, like the dying embers of a once roaring fire, he transitioned into a new phase of his life, one marked by an unwavering commitment to giving back to his community and promoting the sport that had given him so much. It was as if the very fabric of his being had been woven from the threads of gratitude and a deep sense of social responsibility. He became involved in various charitable initiatives, including the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, where he worked tirelessly to support young athletes and provide them with opportunities to develop their skills, much like a master craftsman passing on his trade to apprentices. As I reflect on Beamon's journey, I am reminded of the words of the great poet Maya Angelou, who once said, "Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better." Beamon's dedication to mentoring and coaching was inspired by his own experiences as a young athlete, where he had been shaped by the guidance of visionary coaches and mentors. He sought to pay it forward by helping others achieve their full potential, to kindle the flame of excellence that had burned so brightly within him. In 1972, Beamon retired from competitive athletics, but his legacy continued to grow like a mighty oak tree, its roots digging deeper into the earth with each passing year. And in 1983, he became one of the first athletes to be honored with a place in the United States Olympic Hall of Fame, a recognition that underscored his status as an icon of American sports. As Beamon looked back on his life, he reflected on the lessons he had learned and the values that had guided him throughout his journey. "I've always believed that success is not just about achieving your goals, but about the person you become in the process," he said, his voice filled with a deep sense of introspection. "It's about the hard work, the dedication, and the perseverance. It's about the relationships you build and the positive impact you have on those around you." These words capture the essence of Beamon's character, a man who was not only an exceptional athlete but also a compassionate and humble individual, driven by a fierce commitment to excellence and a profound sense of empathy. In his later years, Beamon continued to be involved in the sport he loved, albeit in a more behind-the-scenes capacity. He worked as a coach and a consultant, sharing his expertise with athletes and teams around the world, much like a sage imparting ancient wisdom to eager disciples. He also became an advocate for social justice and education, using his platform to raise awareness about important issues and to inspire young people to make a positive difference in their communities. His was a voice that commanded attention, a voice that spoke truth to power and challenged the status quo. And then, on December 31st, 2020, Bob Beamon passed away at the age of 73, leaving behind a legacy that will be remembered for generations to come. Today, Bob Beamon is remembered not only as one of the greatest athletes of all time, but also as a true champion of the human spirit. His story continues to inspire and motivate people around the world, a reminder that with dedication and perseverance, we can overcome any obstacle and achieve our wildest dreams. That's all for today's Sports Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Howard Closewell reminding you to keep shooting for your goals.